All right, the machine says that I'm live. And I'm gonna believe the machine in front of me. How you guys doing? Hello, Jeffrey and Mark Brown, and of course, Falco. Thank you for joining me. I should probably post on Discord that we are live. We're gonna do some live coding today. Let's see here. Your up sound is up. Is the music too loud? It's always my first question. Now it's going away. It'll come back. Okay, I'm playing this music for programming number 19 at the moment. If you guys want to check it out, I like this compilation. It's sort of like mixtapes of mostly electronic music, pretty much all electronic music. Okay, let's get to it. What were we doing? If you remember, the last thing we did, why does every time I go into Discord, it automatically connects me to voice chat, which I never want. I never want that. I don't know why it does that. I need to somehow configure it to not do that. I don't know why, but okay. So there's this diagram here called stack rank, and we haven't created this yet. Hey, this thing's working. That's good. That usually doesn't work right away. So we're gonna do this part, and let's see. I'm gonna draw it first. Doesn't this go away? There we go. So here's what I'm thinking. If you remember the HTML school videos, there was a part of that where I think I used a green and we had like, well, first of all, we had like a panel off to the side, and then we had all the mini columns stacked, ranked like this, and then we like drew a line at some point and said these are the winners. So I'm gonna do something like that, except we're gonna do it not horizontal, or I'm sorry, not vertical like that. We're gonna do it more like this. Sound only starts when the browser is focused. That's a you problem, not a me problem. Sorry. So we're gonna do it like this, and probably rank. So basically, we're gonna make a bar chart, essentially, and we're gonna stack all the mini columns like that at some point, and this is gonna be essentially overlap score for the current time step. That's what this is, and this is going to be basically the mini columns all over there, and this is just the indices, and we won't mark the indices. But what I'd like to do is coordinate this with the other ones. So if there's a selected mini column, because in all of these we can select a mini column. Like if you remember, the last thing I did was I fixed this selection. I made this selection thing over here. So when you select a mini column, I would like, one of these somehow to have a notification, or have some type of visualization that is the currently selected mini column. Maybe even, we put the overlap score over top of it on hover or something like that. So we're going to do this type of thing here. I know we're sort of going all over the place as far as like what I'm working on at any day, but that's okay. There's just a lot of things to do, and I think at this point the important thing is for me to remain interested. So I like the idea of this diagram. Making a new type of chart is always fun. So we're going to think through making this new type of chart here. Hopefully we've got ultra low latency setting on, so hopefully it's not too output from filtered columns. Filtered columns. No, this will be all of the mini columns will be displayed in this. Maybe not all of them. We'll see how much room we have, but at least the top half or third or something. So enough that we can see all of the winners. And we do want to have some indication also of the, like where we draw the line for the winners. Like which is this where the winner cutoff is, and all of these are the winners. I don't know, some indication of which ones actually won versus those that just competed and did not win. That's the idea. So let's see. I think we can do this. Latency check. Say go now and I will type when I hear it. Go now. Oh wait, I didn't put a timer up, but I guess we'll just get a... I have this at ultra low latency. So hopefully it's just 5 to 10 seconds. Although I didn't time it. I might not have it at ultra low latency, honestly, because I may have screwed up when I set the stream up. That was kind of gross. That took a while. Oh well. Oh well. Color code the winners. Yeah, something like that. We'll figure it out as we go along. So first of all, let's go to the code, and we're going to want to make another diagram. So the first thing I always do is create a live share session. If anyone would like to join, here is the live share link. So to do this, you need to have Visual Studio Code, which is a great IDE. I've finally sort of gotten used to it. And you'll have to have some live share plugin installed. And that's pretty much it. And you have to be on the internet. So let's make room for it. I'm in the spatial pooling page here. And that's the page that's being shown right here. Mark, you're talking about the past. Okay. I'm sorry. I tried to update the latency settings, but it apparently was after I first sent a little stream to YouTube, and from that point on it said, no, you can't change anything. Even so, I shut the stream down, tried to change the setting, and it wouldn't allow me. So if the only way for me to go back and do it again is to create a new event with a new URL, and I won't do it this time. But next time I'll get it set up a little better. It's a learning process. I like this selected mini column thing that we did. I want to make all of them look like that, which I haven't done yet. But I'll probably just do that offline because that's not that interesting. Let's get a little bigger here, and let's open this up because I know we're going to be looking pretty closely into this. So here's where our stack rank diagram is going to be. Let's go look at the code to find it. It's not there yet, but we have something called a stub. Got a good amount of content heading in here. Diagram stub, here it is. The stack rank stub is right here. So the things that we need to draw this are the winners. Let's just think about this. So for the mini column competition, here's a good place to start to look at. Let's steal this and basically just dump it in here. I'm not going to need an encoding. This is not going to show the input space at all. I won't need potential pools. I will need overlaps and winners, because I don't just want the winners, I want to display more than just the winners. So I want overlaps and winners. I don't need a connection threshold because we're not displaying that low level. I don't need the permanences. I do need the selected mini column, and this is specific to the mini column competition diagram. and I will be allowing the user to select a mini column, which will be emitted out of this diagram and affect all of the other diagrams on the page. So we will keep this here too. So I'm just going to pretend this exists. Let's say competition stack ranking or something. Stack rank. Just call it that. This is called stack rank. Stack rank, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. Everything else is fine. So we just need to create something called a new diagram. Let's go all the way up to the top and pop it in here. Falco needs to make a phone call. He'll be back. From components, diagrams, competition stack rank. That does not exist yet. So let's go in here and steal from another one. What do we have that's sort of simple? Because we're going to sort of start fresh with this. Let's go ahead and take the mini column competition and then just strip out everything we don't want. New file will be called competition stack rank.jsx. And I'm going to paste all of the mini column competition, but then rename it to stack rank. This is all, I'm not even using this right now. I should clean this up. Okay, let me make a note of this. I've got a lot of fix me's in the code, if you didn't notice. Fix me is all wrong at this point. Doesn't affect anything apparently. Maybe I should just get rid of it. Okay, so first of all, I think I'll keep that function, select a mini column. We're not rendering an overlap score. Basically, I'm going to remove all the render functions. We're not rendering the selected mini column in the same way at all. We are going to render the mini columns, but it's going to be a totally different way of rendering them. So I'm just going to comment that out because I might steal some of that code. The competition is a little higher level than that. Actually, I'm going to keep this. I'm going to keep render competition and render selected mini column. I'm going to keep those. Let's keep those. Yeah, and I'm just going to comment them out for now because the guts of these I might not use, but the initialization might be really useful. So I'll keep render competition. This is the connections we don't want, potential pools we don't want, input we don't want, input space we don't want. So let's get rid of all that. And then the update is just going to call render competition. If, and I don't need this, this is obviously redundant. And on component did update, we call update on component did mount. We grab the root, which this should be fine. And we are not going to use this green to red. Or will we? Maybe we will. I'll comment it out for now. Okay. I'm going to comment this out for now too, because I don't know what kind of colors I'm going to use. Okay. Mini column competition is not what we're going to call this. I'm calling this competition stack rank. Okay. All right, so let's go down to the markup here. We've got our SVG. We are not going to have this. We're not going to have this. We are going to have a group of bars. I know that. And we're probably going to have an axis. Maybe. Maybe we'll have an axis. It would be nice to have an axis to show the overlap score. But let's just focus on the group of bars for right now. We're not going to have something called a spatial pooler. Let's call this just competition. Or let's just call it stack ranking. Stack ranking. Let's do it the right way. Stack ranking. Okay. And we'll have mini columns and selected mini column. And again, I'm not sure this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take that out because I think the selected mini column will just be something I color differently or something like that because it's in a bar chart. All right, so okay, it compiles. It does not compile. Render selected mini column is not a function because I removed it. Okay, let's just do this. Let's just do it simple. Get rid of the render competition function. Just call render mini columns on update. Looks like everything rendered. Okay. Okay, so here's our empty shell of a diagram. Yeah, our empty shell of a diagram. Okay. So now what we need to make sure that we have, let's get rid of this one. In where we're calling it down here, bars we can show, and my diagram width is 500, and if my bars are, let's make them, let's say 100, because that's only 5 pixels each, even if I put them right beside each other. Because we're not going to be able to show every single mini column on this. We're just going to show the top so many. So we're going to loop through our overlaps. Our overlaps are going to be our data. So let's grab this and change how we do this entirely. But we're definitely going to want this. This isn't called mini columns anymore. It's called stack ranking, I hope. Is that what I called it? Stack ranking, yeah. And there is something called mini columns in here, so maybe that's what I want. That is what I want. We're gonna do this. It is gonna be called mini columns. And we'll use the outer group in case we render more layers on top of it, so we can transform them all at once. We're not gonna have columns, we're just gonna have one whole row, so this doesn't exist. Cell width is really gonna be called bar width. So let's rename this bar width, and it's not this. So let's say max bars and say 100 at this point, and that's diagram width is going to be, or bar width is going to be that divided by max bars for now. And it's going to be a point where we're going to break this, you know, and we'll, if we change the amount of mini columns so that it's fewer than 100, we might break it. Show competition doesn't exist. These don't, we're not doing this anymore. The color scale thing we're not going to do. I'm wondering, actually I might do. I might leave this exactly this way, because then we can show the colors and the height of the bar. So let's keep this. And this isn't really, so then we'll have a percent. Yeah, that's just going to be for color. That'll just be for color. And then we can use this min and max overlap because we're going to use that for the bar heights, right? Well, that could be where we start the bar and where we end them. And then we have our winners. Okay. So this treat cells function is going to be totally different. Not totally different. Actually, it's going to be somewhat similar. I think I can probably just leave it. And we're going to loop through the overlaps. And they are not in order. So we want them to be in order of overlap score. And I'm pretty sure that they're not. Maybe they are actually, because I think they are, because when we call simple HTML, I'm pretty sure that it returns the overlap scores in order. Let me see. NTA simple HTML. When we go to the spatial pooler and say calculate overlap. No, it's compete. When we call compete, yeah, sort by overlap score. So the overlaps get sorted by overlap score. The winners are sorted. I don't actually, so I don't think the overlaps, when you say get overlaps, isn't there a function get overlaps? Yeah, I'm not sure those are sorted, but the winners are, we'll find out. We'll find out soon enough. It'll be pretty obvious. Okay, so this is good. This will be fine. These aren't going to be recs. They are recs. Let's not call this treat cells anymore. Let's be more explicit. Treat bars, because we're going to sort of make a bar chart here. And so the fill, this I think is going to work. The stroke, there's this we need to take out, the show competition. So I'm only doing this, so I'm drawing a black border if they're a winner and a dark gray if not. I'll leave this for now, but I don't like this. There's already a fix me in here for this. Stroke width, again, I'm not doing the show competition thing. If winners, then it's a little bit thicker. So I'm not crazy about this. I'll probably change this, but for right now, I just want to see it work. Fill opacity, let's make it a full-on 100%. Actually, let's just remove it because the default's 100%. So here's where it's not going to work. We want, so let's first of all, wait. I is going to be the, actually I is not the mini-column index. The mini-column index, I can say C. Before I start messing with this, let's do this. We're not doing columns, so let's try this for now. But I'm pretty sure this is not going to work. It's going to display funny until I fix something. I don't need that. The thing that I need to I need to understand exactly what the data format that this overlaps is coming in, because I've forgotten. So let's just set a debugger here and see what pops up. Diagram padding is not defined in render mini columns because I don't have any diagram padding set. Let's see, what did I use for diagram padding here? 40. I think I just commented that out. Yeah, so I'll just use that. Okay. Use 40. All right, so this.props.overlaps. It's an array of 400 because there's 400 things, and they're just indices. So it's for each mini column and then the actual indices of the input space where the overlaps occurred. So we don't need all that. All we need is a length here. So all we care about is length here. That's what we're going to be using. Okay, so that tells me that they are not in order. Obviously, they're not in order by overlap. So we're going to want to transform this a bit. So before we do anything with the data, let's transform it. So let's say const sorted overlaps and do this dot props dot overlaps dot map. Actually, first we'll do first we're gonna map and just get the lengths. There's going to be an array, and we're going to return the array.length, essentially. So that's our first thing. And then we can just call sort. But we have to, let's see how I did it here. Oh, here's where I sorted here. So I could do the exact same thing. So that'll sort them, but then I still have to map them. So maybe I'll sort them first and then map them. Let's do this. So then I don't have to sort. Okay, so let's see if that does anything. Right, so this overlap array contains a list of indices to the actual bits in the input space that the mini-column overlaps with in this time step. So we just want the length. That's the competition doesn't care where they are. It just wants to know which ones have the most overlap. So that's why we're getting the length. All right, let's see what happened. Let's see if that's the structure that we want. Cannot read length of undefined. Let's see why. Oh yeah, because A is there is no overlap. It's just what it is. It is the array. Okay, so sorted overlaps. 7, 8, 9. All right, great. So I just have to reverse them because I want them to go the other direction. I'm not certain that JavaScript does this, but it should. It should. Did it? It did. Okay, great. Okay, so I just did a dot reverse on that, which I'll just leave on that line. Okay, so now we have something we can work with. It still might not work, but okay. So something about the color scale, which is happening when I'm calling. Let's go to the error here. The fill. Okay, let's ignore the fill for a moment. See this? See, this is, I already have the length, so. Okay, let's try this. Again, it's the same place, 63. Let's see what we got here. Debugger with 3 G's isn't a function, or isn't a property. Okay, overlap is 22. So I'm calling color scale with. Oh, right. Okay, so my color scale is going in between. Look, let me stop right here. This is where I want to stop because I'm trying to call into a scale that I've created where the min is 5, max is 23. That makes sense. So I should be able to call this function color scale with that, with a number between 5 and 23. That's the idea. And I am. So this color scale function is failing, and I don't know why. It should return. Oh, maybe the get green to red is failing. Okay, let's continue stepping. Let's step into this and see what's actually failing. Out of the compiled function. Out. Why am I in a window event? Get out, get out, get out. I'm deep into React right now. I don't know why I'm in here. Hold. What happened? Look. Oh, get green to red is not defined. Oh yeah. No crap. I didn't define it. That's easy. The Flash version. What are you, crazy? When is the Flash version going to get made? By the way, if anybody's watching this on YouTube, people are chatting with me, and if you open the YouTube page, it's over there or down there or something. You can see the chat, even if you're not watching live. I can see the chat, and I actually can see the chat. There we go. So the chat's over there. So somebody just asked, when's the Flash version going to be made? Which is a very funny joke. Very funny. But, you know, I used to program Flash. It's one of the first programming environments I used, so I'm not going to joke too hard about it. Let's just see if that did anything. Oh, I think it's working now. Get rid of the debugger. No, the JavaScript world is so much better than Flash now. All right, we got something. All right, so this makes sense because I have this laid out to draw on a grid, not a line. or not a horizontal. So my X's and Y's are all off, and I'm going to have to dynamically change the height. So we're going to need to have like a height scale as well. So how tall do we want this to be? So let's make some of those decisions too. Most of these are 500 wide, and I think by default they're half that tall. So let's see here. Diagram, width. Yeah, see the height I'm using right here. I'm setting it, and that's fine. I'll use that again. So bar width, chart height. We'll use. Well, let's use it once we've added the padding. That's probably a good idea. So whatever it is with the padding. And so we're going to decide dynamically what the height of each bar is going to be, but we're going to need to have a scale for that. Bar height scale equals, we're going to do this with D3. Is Flash scheduled to be obsolete in 2020? I was surprised it's still being used. The blue dots, I don't have any blue dots. They're just rectangles. I took out the function. Those are called connections, and I took them out. So I'm going to create a linear scale that is going to go from 0 pixels to, see, what am I passing into this? I'm going to pass in the overlap score. So actually, it'll be, let's make it one less than the minimum overlap. So let's make it the min overlap minus 1, just so there'll always be something, even if we happen to display them all. So it'll scale from that, and I misspelled this, and it'll go to the max overlap. So that'll be the biggest one. And what we'll come out with is we'll go from, oh no, wait. I did this wrong. Min and max overlap are fine. What I want it to scale out into, I'll start at like 10 pixels and move up from there. So 10 pixels up to the chart height. Okay, so this will give us a scale function. I'm not spelling things very well. This will give us a scale function that we can pass in the overlap, and it'll give us the chart height. So first of all, let's change our X and Y. Y is always going to be chart height. And actually, we can just hard code this without having a dynamic function. Right? Yeah, so we're always going to start in the same place. Or actually, we're at a rectangle. It might be 0. I'll find out soon enough. And I'm going to take your word for it, Mark, about the Flash. This is going to be X times bar width. That's right. That'll be fine. That'll be fine. Okay. Now the width, bar width is okay. The height is going to be a dynamic function. So we're going to take the di. I don't think we're going to use the I. And this is where, whoops, we're going to use that scale. And we're going to return bar height scale D. See what happens. Here we go. Oh. Alright, so there's something wrong with this, with the height. First of all, I think I am off with the Y. I think this should be, it should basically be the padding, the diagram padding. Okay, so we're going to start at the diagram padding, and that'll get us bigger. Ah, we're going the wrong direction. Okay. So that's not what I want. I want them to start at the bottom and go up. But this is close. We're getting close. And you can definitely see the selected, or the winner columns, which is totally wrong. The winner columns is totally wrong here. So however I'm selecting winner columns is, oh wow, I've screwed everything up. Did you see the, What's this? What's going on here? This is off, way off. That's really odd because I didn't touch that. I didn't touch that. How did that change the other diagram? That shouldn't be a rainbow. Those should be the permanences, and that's totally wrong. Okay, so give me a moment to figure this out. How did I change? What have I changed, first of all? I changed mini-column competition just by changing a name. I didn't change the data. I'm not changing any of the data. Okay, so that's not changing any of the data. All I did here was add a fix me. So what's happening? What's happening here? This mini-column competition is totally wrong. Oh, that's right. You're right, Falco. You're right. The sort sorts in place. So, hey, thank you. That's a good call. Excellent catch there. Let's see. So where I'm sorting here, where did I sort? I forgot where I sorted. I did it right down here. So I need to, first of all, slice this and then sort it. Whew, okay. That's good. Okay, that's a tricky thing. Stupid JavaScript. JavaScript shouldn't, by default, sort arrays in place, but it does. So, good catch, Falco. So I definitely have the winners are being the winner indices are wrong because I sorted them. Let's see. How am I going to decide if the winners? So it's not. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back and since these are all totally out of order, obviously now than the order in which they came in. So in order to identify the winners, I either have to modify the data structure and indicate whether it's a winner or not up front, or keep track of the new order somehow. Are you kidding, Flash? That's I can't do Flash anymore. Flash it's like a dead language at this point. I don't know that anybody is building new things in Flash anymore. But I'm not gonna argue with you about it. This is this D3JS is an excellent. That's my favorite right now. SVG and D3JS is my favorite data visualization environment at the moment. You can get a little bit overloaded if you're doing like, what do you call them? Those, never mind. Okay, so first of all, let's flip this so that it's the right direction. So we're gonna have the Y is no longer gonna be just the padding. Excuse me. This is gonna be a dynamic now. And I don't think I need any of these indices in my calculation. So we're not gonna return the padding. We're gonna return. We're gonna have to calculate essentially the height, which is bar height scale D minus bar height scale D, the height of it, yeah, plus the padding. I think that's it. Bar height scale D. Is that going to flip it for us? Yes. Well, no. Okay, so it's the max minus bar height scale D plus the padding. So it's the padding It's the chart height minus. I'm just like randomly trying things. Okay, there. That's what I want to see. And this is every mini column. So when I have, how many mini columns do I have? 400? No, 100, I think. I don't think it's, I'm not sure if it's programmable. I think I just hard-coded it. So this is going to break, for example. Oh boy. Okay, there's a fire truck. Hello, fire truck. Good luck. I am running the spatial pooler in the browser, and it is not very performant. It is, I'm calculating all the active duty cycles and overlap duty cycles and keeping arrays of them over the past 1,000. So like if you go look at, let's do a heap snapshot. Yeah, here's our memory right now. It's 130, 138 megs. But I don't care. It is what it is. Okay. Right, I was just checking. I wanted to check and see where I set the mini column count. It is 400? How could this be? This isn't really 400. Because there's no greens here. I think it's just because, I think it goes on and on. It just renders them outside of the SVG space. So for example, I can make this a bit more performant because it's updating the DOM. Like right here, if I inspect this, I'm going to find there's a buttload more rectangles way out there, see? So I need to cut that off. So I only care about those top few anyway, so I'll just start. It's running fast enough. This is as fast as I want it to run. It's not slowing down at all. I mean, I'm perfectly happy with the performance here. You're not going to convince me to use Flash ever. I used Flash 15 years ago, and I've moved on. I moved on then. So, let's see. What I want. What do I want? I want to cut off this. I want to use that maximum max bars. That's what I want to use. I want to specify the maximum number of bars and cut off essentially. Here's what I can do. I can just slice. Ooh. I'm gonna slice again. Slice 0 to max bars right here, and will cut it off. Okay, but now I can use the max bars for my height, or not my height, to calculate my width. Oh, I already am. It could be a little bit bigger. Oh, I guess it can't because I have to floor it. Yeah, so if I make this like 50, it should get bigger. Yeah, it got bigger. Okay. Okay, that works for me. And if I go 200, it'll barely display lines. Yeah, super small. Super small. Okay, but this is I like this because it's an indication of like, you can obviously see there's a logarithmic curve there, or a quadratic curve there, so that makes sense. Okay, so now we just have to get the winners. Let's make this like 120. So now I just want to display the winners properly. So I don't want to do this. I don't really like doing this as a function of stroke. So if I took the stroke out, would it look nicer? Then it'd be no stroke. So I want a little bit of stroke. So let's have some stroke. Let's always make it 0.5 stroke width. And we'll always make it I guess black. Let's see what that looks like. Maybe gray will be better, I don't know. I wonder if I can get 0.25, probably not. No, it doesn't really make a difference. And I don't care about the spacing. Let's make this gray. And I think I should make this 100. We're never gonna have more than 100 winners. The repo for this project is here. I'll post a link there, and in this README, there's links to everything. You can even see this running live if you follow this link here. Hey, it's somebody's actually been messing with it, so it's not the most recent code, obviously, because I'm still working on it. But as soon as I push it, it will be. Okay, so this is pretty good. Now I want to display the winners. You know what? This is weird. Is this just like an optical illusion, or do those gradient colors actually look like they've changed? I think it's an optical illusion. Yeah, it's an optical illusion. It looks to me like it's darker here than it is there, and it's darker here than it is there. But it's not. It's just a funky optical illusion, I think, especially when it was moving. Does that look like that to anybody else? But when I stop it and actually look at it, it's not. They're distinct colors, but I just think the way it's laid out, it looks like there's a bit of a gradient. Okay, so now what I want to do is display the winners properly. Or I want to either display the winners. Ooh, did you see that? I'm selecting, the selection just automatically works. Okay, first of all, let's render, let's show the selected mini column. Let's do that. I already have a function for this. Yeah, because I've already got on click select a mini column. It just frickin' works, which is outstanding. This is what I'm talking about here. I hope it's, but it's wrong because it's using the index to select it, so it doesn't actually automatically work. You see what I'm talking about? I see this circle down here. As I click through this, it shouldn't be sequential. It should be popping all over the place. So my sorting is screwing things up. So let me think about how I'm sorting, because I want to be able to associate here's what I'm going to do. I got an idea. Instead of doing this in a way that where I'm sorting and I'm using the order of them to decide where they are, which is this. I'm using this I can do it when I've done in other places. Thanks, Wild Mage. I appreciate it. You mean the HTML school ones? Yes. One of the points of this is to make it better, make the code better, so people can come in and understand what it's doing. And also the HTML itself is isolated in its own project. So there's a project called Simple HTML, and the spatial pooler that I'm running this is only, it's 220 lines. That's all the code that is involved in spatial pooling at the moment, and it's not a complete, we're not doing boosting yet, so that takes up some more code, but that's okay. All right, so let me think here for a minute, because there's a place I remember transforming these overlaps from one structure to another, and I can't remember if it was in Simple HTML or if it was in here somewhere. I think it's in Simple HTML. So when we get the overlaps here, here's where we're creating the overlaps, and I'm getting an index. It's getting an index, and then the actual overlaps. At some point, what I'm storing, when I get the overlaps, it's not that anymore. In the diagram, that's not what I'm getting. I'm getting a simplified data structure. And this is what I'm getting. when I call get overlaps, it should get me these overlaps. Where have I simplified this? I'm also sorting, but I'm not sorting those overlaps, I'm only sorting these. It must be here somewhere. I'll bet you one of my other diagrams is doing it. I'll bet you the Minicolumn competition is doing it. Somebody's doing it. Oh wait, let me pick a different different playlist here. Is it Rights? Rights is really good. It's Rights or Panda Magic, I forgot. Oh well. Okay. Back to the drawing board. Let's see. So where am I mutating the overlaps? Render overlap score. Overlaps. Let's look for this whole word. Hey, David. I am in the midst of trying to figure out which one of my diagrams is mutating my overlap array. I'm pretty sure one of them is. It could be wait, which ones take overlaps first? Let's find that first. Minicolumn competition, competition stack rank. That's it. That's it. Yeah. So it's got to be Minicolumn competition. It's got to be Minicolumn competition. Okay, that's not it. That's just the data. And this expects it to already be indexed. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I want to figure out how this is happening, so I'm going to put a breakpoint here. And I want to see, oh my, that's very big. Okay. Let's go into get permanences. I want to get overlap. This dot overlaps, what is it? Okay, so it's already, so this is confusing to me. Let's when we call compete, let's stop here. Because right at this point, overlap should contain a bunch of objects with an index and an array. It better. Overlap. Now this one has an objects with an index and array. Why is it only one? I don't know. Let's just refresh this. That's weird. Okay. Okay, there we go. Objects, right, with an index and an array. So these are the ones that are they're not supposed to be sorted. They're supposed to be, mix them all up. The indices are meaningless, essentially. That's what I expect. Now, but this dot overlaps is not the same thing. Okay, so here's my issue here. I'm pushing. Oh, okay. I've got two totally different data structures here. One of them is local to this function, and I'm using it just to do the sort and return the winners. Okay, so one of them is associated with the winners. This is the structure for winners. It has an index and an overlap. This is not. It's indexed by the Minicolumn index. So it's not. So if I'm gonna, maybe I just want to sort of recreate this structure. Okay, I can do this. I can do this just within my own function. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that one of my I just wanted to make sure that one of my diagrams wasn't mutating this, because I just found out they could do that, and it doesn't seem to be. So in my stack rank now, my map here, okay, is going to be a little different. First, I'm going to sort them by length, and then I don't need to reverse. This was silly. All I have to do is just change the order of, change these. That's fine. Okay, so that's prevents another loop. And then here, this is going to be overlaps index. And I'm going to call this MC index because it's the Minicolumn index. And we're not just going to return the length anymore. We want to return an object where index is MC index, and then overlap is overlaps.length. That's what I want. Whoops. That's what I want. Yeah. Okay, so that'll change everything. So now we're not going to rely on this index ever for anything because it's meaningless. So we're going to essentially go d.index. That's going to be our bar width. D means data, and this is d.overlap. So anytime we're using D now, we have to put overlap. So this is D, and we have to say D.overlap. This is D.index. This is D.overlap. This is D.overlap, and this is the data index, which I think I use for something I don't remember what, but D.index. Okay. Made a lot of changes. Not sure if this is going to work. Let's find out. Okay, it worked. It worked. But okay, so this is still wrong. All right, this is still wrong. That shouldn't be, because of the sort, and that's happening because actually, where's my selection? Select Minicolumn. Target data index. So my data index is wrong. That doesn't seem right. This should be right. Index is MC index. Do my copy. Make a sort. Return. Slice out the first ones. Send sorted overlaps. I'm surprised everything worked if that didn't work. Let me inspect this. Let me pause it. Okay, pause, inspect. Data index 27, 26, 25. See, that's wrong. That shouldn't be, that should not be sequential. This should be the, is it because, oh, I know. No, I don't. No, hold on. I know, yeah, I do know. Okay, I think I do know. I'm sorting these by length, which is their overlap. So they're sorted. That's going to be the order in which they're displayed. However, so that's what I want. I do need to use that index for the x value. So this is going to break things. So let's see how weird this looks now. Okay, so it still worked. It still worked. Okay. That makes sense that it works, but it doesn't make sense that this isn't right. Let's put in let's put a breakpoint here, and I want to see what this data looks like right here. Okay, my D index 0, overlap 22. The I should be 0, and let's just jump ahead a bunch. Jump. Okay, D is now index 10. I is 10. The index shouldn't be 10. I know what to do. Okay, I know it's wrong. I'm mapping before. I should map before I sort. Okay, I should map before I sort. Okay, bear with me here. I think I know what I'm doing. I'm going to sort, or map, slice, and sort. And now my sort's going to be different because I don't look at length now. I look at overlap, which is what I had originally. Okay, so I have to map first. I think this will work. Yeah, it's working. Okay, this is perfect. This is what I wanted to happen, I think. Okay, great. Okay, so now, yeah, that's better. So now when I click on this, it's not the first selected column. So the Minicolumn indices are retained as the data index, and they're sorted, which is perfect. And now I can highlight the winner Minicolumn, or let's highlight the selected column and the winner column. Let's do that in different layers. Just like doing that in different layers, because if you do it using a border, it messes up because the adjacent borders right over top of it. So I'd rather do it sort of in a transparent layer over top. If I remove that extra slice, watch what happens. If I remove this, watch this. Watch the chart below. Oh no, it worked this time. It worked now. Oh, I have 2 slices. Yeah, you're right. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I forgot that I sliced it twice. But this is crazy because the first time I did this, I didn't realize that it affected the. Now I'm totally confused. Oh, it's because I mapped it, because I added the map. At first, I wasn't mapping. I wasn't mapping first. So when I sorted, I was sorting the original array, and then that affected the next diagram. Okay, so I still do want this. I want to slice by max bars. Yeah. Okay, thanks, David. You're right. I didn't need that slice. I don't need to slice at all anymore, but I do want to slice it just to only show a certain number, which hopefully is still working, right? Yeah. Okay. First, let's show selected Minicolumn. I have a place for this. I don't actually have a place for this, but I'm going to steal what I had down here. It's not going to be a circle anymore. It's going to be a rectangle. Let's see. How should I denote selected Minicolumn? If I use just a red, I can't really use red because there's too much red in the diagram. I could just use some different color, but I'll just draw. I'll just draw one rectangle. This should be pretty easy. I'm going to steal this. I'm going to put it down here. And this isn't going to be a circle, it's going to be a rect. Highlighted Minicolumn. It's probably not good to have this ID the same in both places. I already have it in 2 places. But if it breaks, I'll fix it. And then let's just steal this selected mini column. Where is it? Under competition? Under selected mini column. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to need all this, but I'm going to take it. Okay. So select mini column, render selected mini column. So this is I'm gonna call this right after render mini column. So it's gonna render on top of the mini columns, and it's gonna be an X, a Y. There's no R. Yeah. I'm gonna essentially, let's steal this. I don't need that. I do need width and height, X and Y, and fill and all that jazz. Not fill, not fill. We'll do this. We'll need this. All right, stroke. Let's make it black. Let's make it 1. So we're gonna find out. So we don't need. There's not gonna be any padding. There's no columns. Cell width is just diagram width divided by max bar. Okay, so now I need to pull that max bar up. Max bars will pull up here. And reuse it. Let's get bar width, chart height. I don't need half cell width because we're not doing a radius anymore. Selected mini column. Okay, X and Y. Let's see. I don't think this was I only needed to do this for the circle, so I don't think I needed to mess with that anymore. So actually I will do this inline like this, and we'll just simply put this as X and this as Y, because we do this every time. Bar width, bar height. Yeah, so X, Y, bar height, const, bar width, bar height. And this is going to be our bar height scale. And we're going to have to go to this .ops.overlaps at selected mini column. That should give us our bar height. Well, I think we're going to have to say .length. Yeah, that's our overlap. So let me not here. So I'm obviously got this a little bit confused. So let me pull this up. So we have our selected mini column, selected MC overlap. That's what this is. And that's what we'll put here, selected MC overlap. That's going to be our bar height, giving that to the scale. Bar height. Let's see what happens. Cannot read property overlaps of undefined. Oh, this dot props, not ops. Props, not ops. What's the matter with me? Props, not ops. Sorry, I'm not paying much attention to the chat right now because I'm on a roll. Now you want a slice of pizza. Okay. Let's see it. Columns is not defined. Yeah, I don't need columns. Where am I saying columns? Okay, I'm using chart height. I should be using chart height, but I'm not. Why am I not? It should be in bar height. Did I? Oh, I have to recreate bar height scale because that's where I, okay. I am, diagram width is a part of the props. I don't really want to create this scale over and over. Oh yeah, I will for now. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. I don't think it's going to be a huge deal. Now that's where I'm using chart height. That's where my bar scale is going to work. All right. Minimum overlap is not defined. Of course, I need min and max overlap. You can clean this up later. Where's my bar height? Here. Min max overlap. Columns, once again. I just want the selected mini column. How did I do X up here? It's however I did X up here. I times the bar width. And then Y is this. So I times index times the bar width, and the Y is diagram padding plus chart height minus the selected mini column overlap. And this is selected mini column times bar width. Cross fingers. Did it work? No. No. Didn't work. Okay, so definitely the X is wrong. Let's close all these React crap. The X is certainly wrong. Let's dive into right here. Why is X wrong? X selected mini column times bar width is not a number. Oh, X. Why would that be not a number? Hold on. Selected mini column times bar width. Bar width is undefined. Oh, damn it. Right. Bar width is diagram width divided by max bars, which is cell width essentially. All right, we're almost there. Failed to compile. Failed to compile. What did I do? $121. Oh, it's already set somewhere. 121. Yeah, I already set it up there. I just needed to set it higher. Okay, that's still wrong. Go away. All this stuff, go away. Bar height, bar width is X, right? 0. Selected mini column. Oh, yeah, X is fine. X is fine. It's the height that's wrong. So if I select this one, that doesn't work either. Oh, yeah. I need to. All right, I can't display this by. I have to display it by the sorted order. That's my problem. These are all over the place. It just happens to be the first one. That's the problem. This shouldn't be sequential like this. It should be jumping all over the place. Okay, that's why the heights are wrong, because it's all over the place. So my X, everything's right, I think, except for my X. So it's not the selected mini column. What I have to find is from the sorted, from where I sorted them. I guess I'm gonna have to stash the sorted overlaps or resort them, which I don't want to do. Because I'm not going to display the selected mini column if it's not within the max bars. So, you know what I should do here is, instead of doing all this over and over, I should just do this calculation once at the end of this function, and then call into another function. Call into this function. I'm doing all this twice, pretty much all this 2 times. So what I really want to do, I'll just basically do this at the end of this function after. Oops, it won't be its own function because I've got all this stuff to do it already. All I need is selected X and Y here. I'm just trying to simplify here before I continue. Bar height scale already there. So let's take this, make this go away, and then make this go away. We're not dealing with the winners yet. Highlight selected column. Once again, let's get a fire truck. Hello, fire truck. Okay. Now something's gonna break, I know. No, nothing broke. Okay, but at least I'm in basically the same place and less computation. So now I have to find the right, based on my select mini column. This is an index. I have to go through my overlap and find the right one, right? So so we're gonna call this highlighted MC, and we'll do sorted overlaps. Filter, find, filter, I think filter. I gotta look it up. JavaScript array filter. Yeah, filter. Okay. And what this is, I want to see where the index is the selected one. So filter overlap, where overlap index equals selected first element. So this is what I'm going to use. Highlighted MC. This might work. Overlap is not defined. Filter. So now I gotta remember how to use this. JavaScript array filter. Yeah, word, and then a condition. So it says overlap is not. Oh, that's right. That seems right. Sure, it's something silly. All right. Well, when in doubt, oh, I know why. I didn't use the right syntax. Still not right. Now it's always that one. Okay, hold on here. What is highlighted mini column? Oh, right. I have to say dot index. This is gonna work. Oh, come on, it was... I just inspected there, and it was fine. Why would this be undefined? Oh, if it doesn't... right, there's sometimes it's not. So if it's undefined, we're not going to do anything. If highlighted MC is not undefined, well, it's not undefined. Then we'll highlight it. We're almost there. Oh, that's not actually a thing. Thank you, Dave. Get a little crazy with my equals. Oh, man, why? Why is it still doing it? It's, this is... Oh, maybe that was just a lucky accident. Hold on, let me pause this. Probably not, though. Yeah, something's jacked up still. My X is still wrong. It looks like it's... The height's right. The height's right. Okay, so my X is still wrong. We're super close. Almost there. The way I'm getting X... Okay, highlighted index 66 times bar width. So here's a tricky thing. This is stupid. I'm doing something stupid. This is essentially what I knew in the first place. I'm not getting any extra information here. What I need to know is the order it was in. So I need to just do an index of the sorted overlaps. I need to find the index where the highlighted, where the selected mini column is, the index of it. That's the X that I use. I am just returning the one that matches, and it doesn't have the index. It has the mini column index, but doesn't have the sorted mini column index. If the selected isn't the top ones, I got that taken care of right here, I thought. But now I might have to change that. So what I need here is the index of this highlighted mini column. Now that I have it, which I could just do index of if it exists. Let me try this and see if I'm on the right track here. So the X should be index of, not the index of itself. This might work. This, well, so close. Okay. Pause. Okay. Ah, it's working in itself, on itself. That's good. But if I select that, yeah, that's working too. It's working. It's working all the way. Okay, a little bit of an extra computation, I would say, in the extra index of, but that's what I wanted to see. Those are all the winners. And then these should be all, here's the orangish ones. Yeah, that works. It worked. It's a very quiet cow sound. Okay. And if the selected column is not in there, it just doesn't, oh, it doesn't update at all, which is not right. It needs to clear the update. So if it's not undefined, That's what you're probably saying, David. If it's not undefined, we want to essentially remove it, or set the stroke width to nothing, and the fill. Actually, let's do. I want the. Do I want the fill? Let's do fill none. No. Fill none. Oh, that's a good question. Why didn't it work when it wasn't pausing? Probably just because of what David said. When it's not in there, it needs to be cleared out. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna select this outside here. If we have something highlighted, we'll do that. Otherwise, we're gonna zero out essentially the. I don't care about this stuff. We're gonna say stroke none. Nano. Stroke nano. I think that'll work. So that should only pop up if, let's select one that's a winner. Yeah, so it only pops up if it's in the top ranked mini columns. This one's pretty heavy. Yeah, okay, cool. Okay, this seems to be working pretty well. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Say chat delay is 32 seconds. It's pretty bad. Luckily, I'm not paying a lot of attention today. I'm sort of in my own world. I will fix the chat delay later. I can't do it in this stream. It won't let me. I honestly don't understand what affects chat delay, but so I don't know if any of you guys are still paying attention to my Twitch account, but I have been streaming guitar practice on Saturdays. If you want to see me play guitar, you can for hours. I took my Strat to the shop, and I'm really stressed about it because I really like that guitar. And I'm not really confident that the guy I dropped it off with wasn't on drugs. It's Santa Cruz, you know, so you never know. All right. Need to get back. Here's where we were. I need to show. Okay, first I need to put an axis in. I can easily select the Minicolumn, but interestingly enough, as soon as I select it, it goes off somewhere else, which is what it should do. So I need to put an axis on here. It'd be nice to put an axis that shows the overlap scores. I'm going to look that up. Axis. I've done this a bunch of times, but I always have to look it up. How to create an axis. So usually we have a scale and we create an axis left. And then once you have the axis, select, append, you call it like that. Okay. So let's try this. I'm gonna put this in the same function that we rendered everything in. Let's delete this stuff we're not using. Okay. And we're not doing the winners yet, but we're going to. So let's do it before we do the Minicolumn. And this is going to be our bar height scale. And so we need something to like do ticks, right? There's something about ticks. It might actually do it automatically. So if I could make a space for the axis myself. And then just call, so I could just select something and then call axis on it. So here's what I think I'll do. I'll make a space for it myself. Down here. Inside the, I'm gonna put it outside of it actually. Last name. Overlap axis. Well, let's just call it left axis. haven't done this in a little while, so bear with me. Left axis, and then I'm gonna grab it. Let's look at the example again. So I'm just selecting it, D3 select, just like we're doing here. This .root.select. Left axis. Okay, and we're going to call axis, and that should render an axis, I think. So it sort of did, but it did it like right on top of other things. And where's this? Can't perform. Oh, that's nothing. So let me pause this and see. I think I just need to make some space for it because I'm rendering over top of it. Yeah, so there's the left axis, and so it's got all these ticks, but they're off to the side, and it's not aligned properly. So what I think I need to do is perhaps put it inside of this selected Minicolumn group, and I don't think that's going to fix it. No, and then I need to pad. I need to apply some type of padding to the chart, but not to the axis itself. Let's see. So here's my padding, diagram width, diagram padding. So that's, I need, in addition to that, I need like an axis width, let's say const axis width, let's say 40 pixels. And we'll just subtract that from the diagram width. And that's going to affect all of our x's. No. I don't think this is the right way to do it, honestly. Pretty sure this is not the right way to do it. So the axis is being drawn off to the left here, but it's got all the ticks and everything. It's just it's too far over. Let's pause. So I'm just going to translate it the way that we did here. Transform, translate. Where are we doing this? Axis. Transform, translate. That should move it over. Did it move it over? So now I'm thinking I should have this outside so it can move in relation to, and this is stupid. I don't like isn't this X and this is Y? Okay. So we need to flip it first of all. We're getting there, and I really don't like that I did this axis width crap. I don't like that. There's something really nasty about that. I don't like it. Of course, I don't like changing my X calculation by something so arbitrary. So if I change this to axis right, I believe it will put the numbers on the right side. And I could just move it all the way over here. So it needs to be flipped. So what I can do is I can say bar height scale invert, I think. No. Inverse. It's something like this. No. Why wouldn't that work? There. Inverse. No. I swear it was something like that. But the scale essentially needs to be reversed. Okay, let me try. Let me axis reverse. No. Invert, inverse, D3JS, scale, linear, invert, something like that. Don't you want to see the scores more than the top scores more than the bottom scores? It is invert, isn't it? I want to see. I just want to put an axis on the. Oh, you mean why would I put it on the left versus the right? Yeah, you're probably right. You're probably right. I'll try and keep it on the left. I got to move the diagram over. Inverted. Maybe inverted. Invert. Oh, I have to call the... Oh. That's not what I wanted to do. Actually, instead of calling the scale, you call the invert function on the scale. Well, let's see if there's another way I can invert an axis. D3JS axis reverse. Maybe somebody else has it. Reversed y-axis. Let's see what the fiddle did. Oh, this is too much code. I can't tell what the solution is. All he did was manually reverse the domain. I mean, I can do that. I just thought there was an easier way to do it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so I just have to reverse the domain. Mirror. Did you find... How? I've never heard of that. You're just guessing, Falco. I don't think those are D3 functions. Not for axis anyway, or for scale. Unless you're really like reading them off of your mirror? No. Flip? No. You're just making stuff up. No. There actually is an invert function on a scale, except you have to call it every time, and the axis isn't going to do that. So I need to actually revert my scale to make this work. It's okay. So as I create the axis, I got to create a reverse bar essentially. So I'm just going to call this axis scale, and it's going to go from max overlapped to min overlap. Pretty much. That's what's going to happen. Hello? Oh, and then I actually have to use it when I create the axis. Axis scale. I'm translating it way too far. I shouldn't have to translate this at all. If I'm gonna put these on the right, but I am not. I'm gonna put them on the left. I'm gonna do axis left. Okay. All right. So but they're still it's still off. Like the location that they're being rendered to is still off. Because I have to translate it down the right length or the right whatever, which is what? It's the diagram padding times 2, I think. So let's turn this into a string literal so that I can put diagram padding times 2. And hopefully that works. No. Maybe it's just diagram padding. Yeah, it's just diagram padding. That's not right. That's not right. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Pause. I need to put this pause button down here. Closer. Data player. Okay, let's check this axis out. Why is it in a weird place? Translate 2040. Maybe that's right actually, but it's just barely off. Why is it like barely off? If I make this 38, I can't change it. But I could change this. Yeah, I can change it. So, looked like 38 was the right. It's about perfect. But why? I'm getting close to my window here. So it's whoops. It's super close. This is 22. Well, it's off a little bit, see? The highest one is 23. So it's off just barely. This is 20. So it's off by 1. What do I have it set at? You don't mind if I had support for pressing P, playing and pausing? Please, that'd be great. Do that. That'd be awesome. I don't think this is gonna work. But maybe it does. Hold on. That's 21. No, that's wrong. If I have 0 translation on this axis, where does it go? All the way up to the top. Okay, so I'm translating from the top. I have to align it to the bottom. So I have to remember I have to translate it down at the same. So how am I doing my Y up here? Diagram padding. I think this is what I need to do. Diagram padding plus chart height. No, that's all the way down to the Y. I'm coming from the top. I need to move it down. It should be diagram padding. Why is it not? It should just be diagram padding. I don't know why it's not. Not divided by 2, just diagram padding. Feels like that should be right. But it's just barely off. It's barely off. I want it to align exactly to the way the rectangles are scaled. We're only talking about Y's. The height is the bar height scale. Is it because I've got it reversed, I wonder? It has something to do, I think, with me displaying it in like a reversed order. I mean, I could honestly, I could hack it and just move it exactly where I want it, but that seems wrong. This is very close, but it's no cigar. This is, the 22 should be right up at the very top. It's weird that the oh, that's the figure caption. Figure. That's the wrong one. I need to transpose that down just enough. It should be diagram padding. So it's sort of weird that the rectangles are starting down so low. If you see that, there's a big big change. It's like 80 pixels. Okay, so this might be a problem with the way I have the rectangles drawn. My diagram padding is only 40. Okay, I think I know what it is. The diagram padding is only 40, yet the rectangles are starting down 80 pixels. It should be starting down 40 pixels. So where I'm using this padding to decide where my Y starts, the chart height is going to be diagram width. And width minus the padding on the top and the bottom. That's right. The bar width is right, because that takes into account the padding on the top and the bottom. Why is my diagram padding so big? I'm going to make this 20 first of all. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that yet, because that's going to confuse me. I'm going to try and figure out what's wrong first. It has something to do with this Y and the chart height and the height. This should be simple enough. This should be right, because I'm simply scaling from, let's not make this 10, let's make this 0, because we're never going to get that low. Okay, so that'll simplify things. 0 to the chart height. The axis scale goes, ooh. Yeah, that's max bar height scale. I got an idea. What if I inverted the domain, not the range? What if I did this? Chart height down to 0, and that's how I inverted the scale. That works. That worked. That worked. Hot damn. Yeah, that worked. Okay, cool. Okay, I still got a weird issue here where, honestly, I think these rectangles are going down further than they're being displayed. No, it's just the axis, I guess. Left axis is definitely going down further than it should be. I need to add a little bit of padding to the bottom, and I'm not. To both of these things, they need a little bit of padding on the bottom, and I don't think either one of them are getting it. Okay, they're getting all their padding like on top. I think that's one of the issues. Let's see. One of these days, Falco, I'll hook this up so you can make the cow sound yourself. I have to now integrate with the YouTube API. Okay, I'm gonna change this to 20 because actually let's change it to more like 10. I don't think there's no need to have that much padding. It's not beautiful. Okay, but it works. I almost wish that the axis stayed the same every time, but that's okay for now. So I still don't like this. The axis is falling off the bottom here. I wanna wrap this up though because I've been going for a couple hours. What I'm going to do, let's just move this over. We'll keep the axis in the same place, but we're going to add a little bit of left padding to the chart so that the axis can be more visible. Okay. So our diagram width, let's say, axis padding. What did I say? Let's say 20 pixels. Diagram width is going to be axis padding plus. No. Diagram width minus the padding minus axis padding, just 1. Mark column, you quitter. I want to try. I have to work on nab. It's like 2 giant RVs outside. There they are. I don't know why that piqued my interest. So I guess I'll just do this. If I do this, it's not going to help. It's going to just... This does work. This is what I didn't want to do. There we go. That looks better, though. That looks a lot better. And you can see the labels. Whoa. That was weird. Oh no. Okay, so I just have to fix the selected mini column. I have to do this when I do the selected mini column. X. I think. Yeah. Okay. Okay. We can make this a lot smaller. So let's do this. And I'm still not showing the winners yet. Darn it. I kind of want to do that. Chart height. Let's make the chart height smaller than this. Let's make it like a half the size. That's all we need, right? You can see that. And then let's see what it looks like at normal screen size. Okay, that's something. It's not awful. Like I said, I want it to look decent on small screens if possible. So this is original size. Usually I have everything zoomed way up. Okay, that looks fine. So now, since I did that, Actually, that's not what I want to do. I want to leave it at half. Well, we're going to go into the spatial pooling page and we'll tell it. No, we can't do that. That is what I want. Never mind. And then here, where we select where do I select the SVG? Component did update. Here we go. This should be 4 as well. So now it'll be small. There's our stack ranking diagram. Cool. Okay, so now let's draw a line after X, however many winners there are. This should be pretty easy. Okay. Interval handles not defined. That's what happened when I pressed P. I can share the server though. Let me figure out how to do this. Share server. All right. Okay, so we're gonna draw a line. Wait, let me put my music back on. I went through 2 playlists so far. Some of these are really good, some of them I'm not crazy about. We'll try this. Okay, so we're just going to draw a line that just cuts off where the winners are, and I don't know what color it's going to be or anything, but we'll put the color up here. Winner line color purple. And in the same way that we did this, here's where we did the highlighted selected mini column. We'll just draw the line the same way. I'm going to create I don't even need to make a group. I'll just create a line. Let's call it winner cutoff. And we'll just update it. Same way, did this. Winner line, winner cutoff. Why am I calling it 2 different things everywhere? Winner cutoff, winner cutoff. Let's just call it winner cutoff. Okay, so let's see. SVG line. Should be simple. I think it's, yeah, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. That's it. So, winner, cutoff, header, X1. We'll start it at 0. Well, no, wait. The Y is going to be 0 and the max chart height. X is going to be the winner's length times bar width. Let's just do this. Line X equals, we're going to do this once. Line X. Okay. Y1 is going to be bar, oh no, 0. I'll start it at 0. Actually, it's going to be diagram padding. And then we'll just copy, paste, 2, 2, Line X is right, and this is going to be height, chart height. Okay, and I think I just have to tell it, where's my line? I have to tell it like a stroke. No, why did it do that? Inspect. Yeah. Oh, I'm not actually highlighting it apparently. It's not a ID, it's a class. Okay, and let's say, I'm not gonna set the stroke dynamically. We'll just do that here. Stroke. Actually, we will, because I put it in a variable. Do we see it yet? No. But it's there. It's there, it just doesn't have a stroke. Stroke. Stroke width. 3. And winner line color. And I'm going to change this to winner cutoff color. There it is. Oh yeah, we do have to add for the Y, chart height plus diagram padding. Should get us to the bottom. There we go. So there's the winner cutoff. And it's interesting. So this, it's a little off. Okay, yeah, it's totally off. Oh, because I have to add the axis padding. Is that what oh boy. This is a lot of fire trucks today. Get out of the way, everybody. I don't know what's going on. A lot of fire trucks. Axis padding. That's what I needed. And I need to add that to my X calculation. Plus, let me put that first. Axis padding. Alright, hopefully that gets us in a better place here. Pause. I'm going to press P. It worked! Awesome. Well, I pressed P again and it actually didn't start. It's like one off. Just something a little bit screwy. Okay, so that's not right. So that's a winner. So the line's a little bit off here. It's because I need to add an extra bar. It's because I need to add an extra bar. Or subtract one bar width from it. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller too. Let's make it 2. The HMR is causing issues. Actually, I needed to add it. I needed to add it? That's sort of confusing me. Oh, no, that's not right. Something's goofy here. The number of winners. Let's debug this real quick. I thought this should work. So the winners is 20. So 20 plus 20 times 4 point whatever. So we're going to start at 112. That does, I mean, that seems about right. This could be because the bar width isn't actually, bar width maybe, no, that should be right. But it's not. Let me try and debug this again. These aren't winners. Why are these not showing up as winners? How many winners are there? What about this one? Oh, what's going on here? Why is this not a winner? Oh, I know why. It's tie breaking. It's a tie breaking problem. Shoot. Okay, this is a... I didn't think about this. I think this is something I'm going to have to change in the spatial pooler, because I'm sorting these. The spatial pooler is what decides which columns are going to win and which won't. I can't just take the overlap score and stack them. That's why this is happening. You see what's happening here? These should be winners, but they're not. And there's some winners over here. It's because they all have the same overlap score, and they were sorted, since they sorted them on overlap score, they all got kind of shuffled up. The spatial pooler decided which ones were winners and which ones weren't. The winners should be all the way to the left. So in my sorting function, sorry, my wife texted me something funny. My sorting function, when I sorted in here, because I did sort these, I sorted right here. This isn't good enough. I need to add another extra thing. What I need to do is, if the overlaps are the same, I need to check if one of them's a winner and return the winner first. Now they're shuffled. They might be, they're not in reverse, because some of them were winners over here. Like this one's, oh, maybe you're right. That doesn't make any sense though. I don't trust the order that they're in either way. It's maybe you're right. Maybe they're in reverse order just within the thing, within the number. Yeah. So, but here where I'm sorting, I need to when they're both the same, I need to have the winner win, essentially. Sort secondarily by index. So you're saying if, because right here I could say if, because right now we're basically they're the same. If a index, well, I don't need to add another sort function. Is that what you're doing? you probably have a better, a lower latency with me typing in here than you do in the chat room. The coloring hue is just an optical illusion. I don't think that there's anything, or is it? It's certainly, maybe you're right. Maybe it isn't an optical illusion. It's hard for me to tell. It shouldn't be, because they're all the same value. They should be colored the same. They're all the same overlap, and they're colored by overlap. Okay, so if they're the same, if A index is greater than B index, return. Oh wait, let's do less than. Return 1. Else return -1. Let's see if that does anything. Hold on a sec, you guys. I think that fixed it. Yeah, that fixed it. All right, it is an optical illusion. There's no way. These are all the same color. These are all the same color. These are all the same color. I'm only coloring them by overlap score, and these are all the same overlap score. They're all 17, 17, 17. These are all 16. It's just an optical illusion. They're not different. So I fixed it by secondary sort on index, like David said. And it works. At least it's doing what I expect it to do now. But the pause button, David, is sort of broke when I click it. So now when I click it the first time, it doesn't work. It switches the symbol, but it's still running. And then I click it again, it switches back to play, and it's not running. Shit, this is still not working. Why did it just work and now it doesn't? Did you change something? Yeah, I'm confused, David. You came in and changed something after I had done this. And at one point it was doing exactly what I wanted it to do. This. Let's leave it just like this. Pause. Okay, I want it to get to one where it's... Okay. Great, this is what I want. Don't touch it. This is exactly what it should do. All of these are winners, and all of them on the right are losers. Does that make sense? Because this makes total sense to me, and I thought you, David, were the one who said that. No, this isn't updating the tiebreaker. This is just respecting the order the SP gave me. That's it. Because when I sorted it, I wasn't looking at the indices when I was assorting. I was letting the sort algorithm randomly choose them. This is just respecting the order I got them in from the spatial pooler, which should have been in the right order. So I think this is fine. I didn't change any of the logic. Oh, that's weird. Okay. That's weird. This viewers thing is not right. It's more like 3, 4. Okay. Okay. I think I'm done, you guys. I'm done with today. I will make a plan. Actually, David, if you don't mind checking the the pause thing, I'll push this code to, I'll just merge it, and you can work on the pause thing if you want to. Oh, is it working now? Maybe it's working now. No, it's still sort of wonky. Or maybe I just won't, I won't push that code. What would you like me to do? If I look at this, what has changed? Just the player. Yeah, so maybe I'll put this in. Maybe I'll put this in another, I won't commit this one right away. I'll put it in another branch and push it or something so you can keep working on it. Because this stuff shouldn't be dependent on it. So let's commit, and I'm going to review the competition. This is all new, the whole competition thing. Competition stack rank. Is there any crap in here we can get rid of? Could still consolidate the color handling at some point. Still using the green to red thing. Under mini columns. It would be nice to pull these out into separate functions, the winner cutoff thing. But I like this here because I'm using this. Then I only need to calculate some of these values one time, and we're only rendering once. We render them all at once, so I'm going to leave them for now. Everything else looks okay. That looks okay. Spatial pooler, we're not using the diagram stub anymore. I'll comment that out. We didn't change anything except adding. Okay, I won't push it. I'm going to take this data player out. Actually, I'll leave it there. It's useful. This overlaps winners, selected mini column. That's it. So everything was pretty much based in the stack rank. So I'm going to do this from the command line so I can select better. Git add everything but the player. David, do you need do you need me to push these changes to a branch for you, or do you have them? Can you work with what you have? I don't mind pushing them to a branch. Partition stack rank. All right, git commit. Damn it. Added. Yeah, I'm using a bunch. I want to be able to embed them into the page wherever. MC partition stack ranking diagram. Push. And I'm just going to push it to master. Okay. Git checkout branch data player P. Press P for play pause works with one player. Okay, well, I put it on a branch anyway. It is, in case you want it for whatever reason. This isn't exactly what I wanted. There it is. Here is the branch if anybody wants it. But that would be nice to have a play pause. What I would rather have, honestly, is there's another issue here to make it inline and not a block element, because I would really like to be able to embed this thing inside a paragraph, just so I could say like press this button to pause the data, but I can't because it's an SVG element, and that's just because that's what I copied and pasted from someone who created one. It doesn't need to be an SVG element. There's no reason for it to be an SVG element. SVG elements they don't play well being inline like that, so it would be great if we could just put it in a span and make it an image or something, or a symbol. It doesn't matter. Hey, check it out. I didn't test this out, but this totally works too. I would hope it would work. Okay, we got our stack ranking. We haven't added a legend or anything, but eventually we'll do that. Good. This is good. I'm happy with this. Thanks, everybody. I don't know why there's so many errors. Oh, it's because I killed it. All right. Thanks for joining me, everybody, and I'll see you next time. See you next time.